We all know that there is dangers out there in the world today, and they're all man-made for the most part. They come in various forms, and some can do great damage to us, and some we ought to know better than to even get around. And then there's some that is so far beyond our control, it's best not to even try to think about it. But one of those we need to think about for sure is pandemic. Anybody that's a prepper should know that symbol. And we should know what a pandemic is, because once something like that happens, there's very little a man can do if he's not made preventive measures ahead of time. Prevention is better than a cure. And today on the channel, that's going to be our discussion. So let's take a look at it now. Okay, now to begin with, let's think on this for a second. Most people are not a scientist. Most of us don't even know most of the microbiological or viral things that are out there. So what can we do about it? Well, first and foremost is have prevention, because prevention is always better than a cure. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the contents of this kit, the one I've got, and go over this because it covers just about every single thing that you can have, and what it doesn't have in it, I've made sure and to bring for show and tell today. Alright, start out with, there's multiple masks you can get. Okay, now these right here are the 3M 1800 masks. Now the masks, the N95s, if you have some of those around, I think that either one is sufficient enough in my opinion. Now once again, the things I state today, this is opinion. Now another thing that we should have an immense supply, and one thing I'll definitely commend this kit for is they have plenty of it, is hand sanitizer. You know, one thing that you need to make sure of is to keep your hands sanitized, because needless to say, this is where most disease spreads, this is where most germs spread. You touch your eyes, you touch your open wounds, touch your mouth, your face, etc., and it's game on. Now another thing that you want to keep around as well is antimicrobial wipes, okay, microbiological things. That's good to use and supplement with hand sanitizer. Gloves is extremely important to have in case of influenza, pandemic, outbreak, epidemic. Keeping yourself protected from a surplus of these. Every time you touch something, you go to clean yourself up, burn them, dispose of them, okay? And everything that you would dispose of and burn, anybody that works in the medical field knows what this is all about. Red bag it. You need to burn things whenever there's a pandemic, possible pandemic or epidemic outbreak. You want to make sure and put all the waste in something you know you're going to burn. So it's great to have these around, that way you don't confuse it and put it in a trash bag or your normal garbage, because then all you're doing is spreading around the possibility of infecting others. Okay? So that's something good to have. And you can pick all these materials up here and there, or you can buy one of these kits, and I'll put the link in the video description where to pick that up at PREP SOS. Now this right here is D3. Okay, these are gel caps, and they're 500 IU. This can help you during a time of an outbreak and help strengthen your immune system. Furthermore, I want to pause right there and show you a few other things that may be helpful. This is a blend from doTERRA. It's On Guard, and it has inside of it a blend of oils, and one in particular that I absolutely respect is cinnamon. A study done shown that nothing can live in the presence of cinnamon, bacterial, biological, viral. This is definitely something that you want to keep around, because like I said, prevention is better than a cure. They also have them in beadlets that you can keep with you. So there's a lot of options as far as prevention goes, that things you can easily keep in your pocket, keep in your bug out bag, and on the go. Another type face mask is the full face. It's over the ear loops, but it helps protect the whole face right there around. Those are interesting type masks. I've never used one of these, and I've hardly seen anybody have them around, but that's just another type of option you can have. My personal pick is this, because I've used these in construction so much and otherwise, and they're easy to come by. Also make sure to keep some that's the size for children too. Don't forget, when you have children, that their lives matter also. So always start with the little ones and work your way up, and make sure that they have the metal band in it so it seals good against the children's face. These antimicrobial tissues, they're great for wiping things down. Sneeze, if you got a sneeze, just blow your nose, make sure that goes in the red bag and burn it. All right, this is not something that you want to keep around. Once again, doesn't go into normal garbage. Red bag it and burn it. Just remember that. Now this I'm going to get to in just a second because I'm actually going to show you how to suit up in one of these Tyvek suits. They're great to have. Make sure to get the ones appropriate for each and every person in your household. It's good to have a couple pairs of them laying around just in case that you got blood or bodily fluids on it. These need to be red bagged and burned also. I'll put that on in just a minute. Lastly, I would encourage you to have these thermal strips around. And what you do, you can pick up, there's a variety of these nowadays that are disposable. You can find them in a lot of prepping outlets. And you just put it to the forehead, apply it to the forehead, and it'll tell you a quick indication if a person has a fever. Obviously, you want to know if somebody's infectious. That's a quick way to do it. And since that they're disposable and they're in such abundance nowadays, you can get a multitude of them. These can be thrown away and burned as well. Something that most people don't talk about, but is imperative in my opinion, and once again, I said my opinion, I'm not a medical professional, but is fluids. Anybody that can get an IV drip kit and some IV fluid, I encourage you to put some of this back. Yes, this is one of those rare items when it comes to prepping, but they are available nowadays for you to get. And the good thing about that is like just with the Ebola situation, from what I gathered from the studies, they showed that the people that continued to keep fluids in their body were the ones that made a comeback from Ebola. With any viral outbreak, anytime you have an infection, anytime you're down for a long time, you're going to be depleted of fluids, and that's an important thing to have. So right there is another prep that definitely could be a lifesaver one day when it comes to a pandemic. So at this point, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to suit up in this outfit and show you how it works. Now to begin with, you want to fold out like so. Now these right here, you will notice they come with the booties. So it goes all the way down and covering your feet as well. So give me just a minute, we'll get over here in the open floor, and we'll show you how it works. Okay guys, now to begin with, I've stripped my boots off, so I'm down to bare socks with this situation. But now if I'm working indoors in my home, I'd obviously want to make sure that there wasn't anything that could puncture anyway. So at this point, anybody that's done any painting, same situation. Just put this on, like so. Now, I would honestly probably slip some Crocs down in there if I could, if the situation ever arose, and I hope that you never are faced with this situation, but we never know when bad times are coming. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do then is for dealing with any of the drama that may come. Like I said, it's important to practice what you preach. So that said, put our gloves on. And now that I have my gloves on, we want to make sure that the gloves come all the way back and makes a good seal. That's definitely something important to deal with. And not only that, but if you ever dealt with a situation where it was radioactive fallout, which we'll do a video about in the future, it's the same type suit, just different material, but the same kind of way it goes on. You want to make sure to have your gloves protect you from that. And instead of this mask, you'd want a gas mask. But for this situation, what we do then, put our mask on. And now for the most part, I'm ready to go. Now, the only other thing left to do is pull down our hood. The opportunity for exposure to fluids, to other people's bodily excrement and things like that where you could get infected is very minimal now. And to further protect yourself, you could tape off the arms right there if you needed to with just some medical tape. But this is a great option to have, and the fact that most of these materials are easy to come by and the cost factor is very low, it makes it extremely useful in case of emergency. So until we see you again here at 7 Trumpets Prepper Channel, guys, I hope this has been a blessing to you, and I hope you have a most blessed day in Yahushua's name.